Hell yeah.
You weren't a Daddy East fan.
I liked Bad Dudes. That was not Daddy East?
Yep.
So yeah.
Someone whose name started with a K used to have it, so when they came over to the house, you would bring it, I'll be able to present that shit, let me keep it. But Dad had Cardinal on the first day, just the boss, then he ended up with his own game.
I remember that. I remember you telling me.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you now, look up 2018. I told you I started watching these tournament shows. They stopped white, once the pandemic hit. They did a Nintendo one, and they would play games on the Wii U at the time. The Switch wasn't. It might have been out. Yeah, it was. It's like 2018. But, it didn't have that big of a library yet, I guess. But they were playing the Mario Kart with like 12 people when they were going around.
That sounds sexy.
But they were doing the Nintendo. Now, this is the thing. When you lose, you weren't automatically out. You have to go to this room and play this, virtually unknown game that came out for Nintendo. And you had to make it through that. So this is not like The Wiz. Oh, no, that was called The Wizard.
I know. Well, Fred Savage.
Yeah, I was like, really, it's like all the secrets for Super Mario 3 and he never played it before. You barely talked.
No, listen, that movie was a before its time movie about autism. Because right now that movie would fit.
Yeah.
That boy was autistic, but he understood Nintendo way further. They said the only kid who knew it was that boy who was spoiled, and his parents bought him every game, and he didn't know everything.
Yeah, but that was when they introduced us.
They introduced that and the Power Glove.
Nintendo, so that was the first time anybody saw the game Mario 3.
And that's the first time we saw the Power Glove. Remember that?
Well, I remember he was playing with that, but
man, that Power Glove, I wonder why. You ever had one? Mm-hmm. You ever played with the Power Glove?
No, I was like,
I wanted to play it. I was geeked.
Yeah, I wasn't really, because that's basically what the Wii remote was eventually.
I mean, yeah, you just did, but that was like 20 years later. You didn't have to. I'm talking about the Power.
I know.
I'm talking about like when that shit came out. I remember Freddie. You remember Freddie played with it on Freddy Krueger? He was like, "Nah, you're playing with Power, Freddy Power."
Yeah.
It was killing the nigga.
Right, but I'm like, they introduced the game Mario 3 in that movie. Like, that was the first time. And then I remember when they had the ad, look at where it was like, everybody, the massive crowd of people, Mario, and they zoomed out and showed space, and they formed a Mario head. I don't know if you remember that TV ad.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, that was like...
I remember. Who you remember the first Zelda commercial where they had a hip hop? It was like Onyx rapping, and my man was like, "I got the power in my hand." It was the Zelda commercial on Game Boy, the one for Game Boy.
No, I had to look up some on YouTube.
I think it was called
Nintendo cereal. I remember the soda.
Oh my god, I do remember.
Half-size cans.
I was about to say, I do remember Fago going in business with them. I remember Peach was a peach flavor one. I remember Mario was cola.
Yes.
I think Yoshi was apple.
That one was a green apple, yes.
I think and Luigi was blueberry or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yup, they had them 4. And I'm like, they was hitting everything. I mean, I got them the disc with the, it's just a disc of, on Fridays, Zelda came on. Super Mario Super Show.
Well, excuse me, Princess.
All the Zelda.
I saw that disc too when I was driving the truck, and I went to a Cracker Barrel, and that exact disc, what you said, it was a double disc. In fact, when I saw it, I saw the one I saw had the Mario Brothers DVD, and they had the Zelda DVD.
Okay, I got the one personally with just Zelda on it.
Yeah, I wanted it, but I didn't have it. It was like right out my budget. We had just 8. And we wasn't getting paid till like Friday, and it was like $25.
So how much was it together? Because like you said, it was.
I think it was like $25. And
it was coming on for a while. Since I moved out here on Saturday morning, they were showing.
Well, excuse me, Princess.
Right? Yes. So it's what Sprite like Link, and I'm like, well, how would sex between those two work out? She criticized Misty.
I remember the episode she had to kiss him because Zelda wouldn't kiss him because that was like the whole purpose of the show. She would never kiss him.
Yeah, you to bring him out of some spell that happened to him or whatever.
And she was like, "Well, my dad is the king." Like,
right.
he said, "I didn't know you was a princess." She's like, "Well, yeah, my father been a king since I was born." Like, she just said it so casually, like, "Yeah." But with the fairy,
they were showing what's the name out here too, the Super Mario World show where they ended up back in the past.
Was that the one when he that's when they introduced Super Mario World, right? And Yoshi and shit. Yeah, I remember that.
And I'm like, okay, why are y'all still plumbers? And it was like, yeah, there was something explained about that.
Hey, you want to talk about that? Why the fuck? Nothing. Like, why did they never go back to Brooklyn? I didn't understand that part.
They would stay there. It was more entertaining to with her one dress for all that money. You think she changed dresses once in a while, but whatever. They wash out the overalls every day.
She did, right? She did. If you didn't know, her real outfit was under the dress. She put the dress on when she came out in public. It was armor.
Right. But I'm like, yeah, you get kidnapped enough. It's like April O'Neil. By then, when she started carrying a knife or something.
Remember, after a while, April started carrying the sword and the pistol. So they made April about it.
Well,
but what the T is, and this is another me explaining some shit and thinking too deeply in these projects, but what the T is, Princess and Koopa was fucking. That's how she was always there, like 8 games motherfucking later and shit, because they was fucking low key. Because before Mario got there, they used to fuck. I'm gonna explain my theory. They were both royalty, so you don't think they families knew each other?
Right.
And so that's what would happen, and Mario would be that crazy nigga going to break her ass out and take her back to his house. But she used to fuck Koopa. That's why she was always there.
Don't worry, by part 3, everybody was changed. Each world had a different king, and they got changed to an animal.
Right, you see what I'm saying? So, like, I think, like, low key, I think Peach and Zelda are like related. Like through royal shit, because they both princesses in Nintendo world. I think they probably cousins. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they used to know him. He was the Lizard King, the Dragon King. Shit.
They never intersected those. Obviously, I don't know what they doing now because I got them. This is game on the Switch called The Legend of Zelda: Hyrule Warriors. It's 2-player. I heard about it while I was watching Adult Swim. They do reviews of games. So I'm like, oh, I get it. I'm like, okay, they pretty much iced out. When I heard 2-player, they could have did it so much better with both of y'all in 2-player mode got to solve different puzzles in the same castle to unlock one thing. It's minor puzzles, but it's a bunch of run around and you would battle in battles on the ground. You can pick a lot more people. You fight with Zelda, Link, her father, it's a bunch of other people. So my name Imba. I'm like, yeah, they got rid of the puzzle. That was on what? Breath of the Wild. That came off for the Switch.
That's why I never liked Zelda that deeply. I love Zelda, but I wasn't deeply into it because those puzzles used to fuck me up.
Hey, nah, you know what? I never did the second one. Now they said you put in the name Zelda for your name on the original one. You start out on the second.
Yep.
Cause I hate all games like that. To be honest, Contra was like that, and we never finished it. We would complete the first level through the code, up, down, left, right, BA start. Classic. Man, we got 30 minutes. We go to the game. But then you start from the beginning, and it's going to be harder, and you got to complete the game to get an actual ending. I'm like, I'm not playing through this mess again. And Zelda was the exact same way. So
no, you know what else? Never. If it wasn't for nowadays, and I'm glad they added this feature, when you play the retro games, you can save that shit anywhere.
Oh, yeah. I was doing that with the Wii U. Make save point. I was doing the River City Ransom because you know you die in there, you lose all your money.
Listen, so if it was for that, I don't think I would have ever beat. And I'm gonna tell you, I didn't heard people say this shit. I don't think I would have ever.
Solomon's Key. So,
I finally beat Solomon's Key.
Yeah, you told me you like it unlocked something else.
It was nothing. It was like one more level, and then it went off. It was crazy.
Okay.
So I could imagine if I would have did this shit back in '87, I probably would have threw the TV.
You can't save with some. Most of the games you couldn't save. Y'all know Zelda, you could have had a battery inside you.
No, listen. And I found this out a couple of times when I was younger, but this is before the internet, and I did not think the ass what I used to call them. But low key, Solomon Key had a save. You just had to be consistent. It was something like that. I'm not sure exactly, but you had to be consistent with it. It was you couldn't turn the game off type of save. So you could have made it to that level, but me and my cousins, we never knew that shit. So when we played that shit, we would play to like level 43, 44. You know, just get high as fuck and then die. So you had to be super careful. It was so agonizing, but we'll get right back through it.
You're talking to somebody who completed 1943. I would never do that again. 63 levels and nothing happened.
I heard, man.
I would have kicked the TV over. I was trying to go through my head to make me laugh. Did you choose or was it a package?
What do you mean?
Well, remember when he did that, you know he just snatched a whole emulator that was already bundled together, took it off the site and put it on those Xboxes.
Okay.
That's why, because he told me it was 8,000 games. In the Nintendo, it was probably like 14 versions of Ninja Gaiden 1. That one was in Swedish, one was in German, one was in this, one was in Chinese, one was Japanese. I'm like, yeah, that's the same as one was in, American, where you're reading the text or whatever. But it was a lot of games like that on there. So it's not like, 8,000 games. I mean, technically it is, but it's not 8,000 separate games. And I'm like, I did like the arcade games. Yeah, WrestleFest on there, and whatever that game was.
For when I did it, it was different. It sent you to different little sites. It was not limited to just, that was just like the base. That's what made me get interested, is that
I'm saying you got to choose what you wanted, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying is it sends you to different stuff. That's what I'm telling you. There's so many projects. What got me interested in Raspberry Pi was that I seen somebody on, I want to say it was on Facebook. They took a Nintendo controller and made it into a game.
Right.
And the Raspberry Pi system I got, which I didn't do it yet, but I'm gonna do it eventually. You could turn a controller. Because I found the Xbox controller and I started using it, but I mean that was gonna be mine, but I started using it, whatever. But you can use any controller, pretty much, down to
any wireless remote,
any controller. Because the one I seen, they used the Nintendo controller and they put the Raspberry Pi in there. They programmed the buttons where the cord that go into the Nintendo. They put a cord in there. That was the AV cords. You could plug them to the TV. And
I told you, I bought one of those shaped like an N64, and a lot of the games didn't work.
So, but the kit I bought, I can't find it too because I want to do it because I'm selling these games at Ratchet's. But the kit I bought, you could turn that part into a Bluetooth, so you can just play it. This Bluetooth to your TV. And my friend Keisha, you know Keisha, her boyfriend bought a controller and he Bluetoothed. He programmed his controller,
right,
and Bluetoothed it to his TV. So I was gonna do that to my I'm trying to think. Right. I'm trying to think of. I was trying to do that to my the Fire Stick.
Okay.
But instead of doing that to my Fire Stick, I end up getting, because see, now it's to the point that the market is open. I end up getting an emulator from a website and just downloaded it to my Chromebook. So that's how I got all the games. So I recorded the second episode.
No, because I was about to call you from this house phone.
Which shit?
No, I'm good. No, I was asking because when you first told me all the games, and the first thing that went through my mind, I'm like, okay, so he has clacks. Then documentary on this dude reaching level 256, and then they shot him when he finally reached it. Or Miss Fat Man.
Who shot him?
No, they didn't shoot him. They were filming it. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm about to say, damn. I was about to say, listen.
Yeah, I know about the Madden tournament. He needed to be beat. Like,
listen, that's deep. That you done shot somebody, nah, shit, for over a video game.
That's a Madden tournament.
I remember that.
Right? Yeah, right before that. I'm like, really? Now when you told me about back in the day, and I heard about it before, people playing Street Fighter, and like, his arcade throws, they look down on you grabbing the person and throwing them on the game. So if you throw somebody, you get beat down. And something like that. I'm like, okay.
That was crazy niggas, and I didn't play Street Fighter with niggas who did shit like that. I remember that shit, and that was crazy niggas with mental illness was real in Detroit. It still is. And I'm not afraid to talk about it.
Like, you're supposed to fight on the game.
Listen, I remember one time I was playing, and my thing was I was going to pick a girl. That's how I always used to play a game. I always like to pick the person that's presumed to be the weakest, and I fuck you up. So
technically, she was never presumed to be the weakest.
Well, she was the only girl on the game.
It don't matter. You weren't presumed to be the weakest. Everybody knows. Nobody went for Zangief back then.
No, well, back then, I was first see him and be like, this nigga so big. Wow, he gotta be powerful. He gotta be powerful. I'm just, this is at first. So I picked Chun-Li, and I started mastering Chun-Li. That's what I'm saying. That's what made me pick her. After a while, you realize everybody got their own strengths if you work them. But that's just what made me pick her.
That was the good thing about that game.
And I started mastering her. So I remember being up at the store one time, and I got to the point that I knew how to throw. I knew how to throw the lightning kick like a move. Like, I didn't have to keep pushing kick. I knew how to land a certain way and tap that bitch like twice, and I'm yap.
Yeah.
And I was catching niggas with this shit. And one nigga, he got mad because it was to the point that he wasn't even got a chance to throw his nougat. So he was like, nigga. And then he was also, what you want to fight, nigga? You would fuck this whole ass game. You want to? I'm looking at him. I said, that's a game. You want your quarterback, nigga? What's going on?
Right.
Like, I was just like, it's a game. Shit. This is the object of the game is to play to win.
Right.
And that's why I found out this bitch could jump off the wall and catch a nigga in the air. It was like, when you found out Chun-Li was dope, it was like, nigga, they should have never did this.
I mean, like I'll say, I started playing with the Zangief years later because I did find some advantages. You just have to be patient with them. As far as the 360, you could grab it because the computer would do it to you. You in the middle of throwing a fireball, the fireball passed through him while he's grabbing you with that 360. And back then, it would take like 3 of them and you was dead.
Right.
But I never saw anybody play with an arcade when it first got started. People was going around with so little. People thinking douse him because he reached across the screen or whatever. But yeah, he was kind of slow. He wasn't good for like when you get in the in-depth fight, like you close throwing or whatever. He wasn't really good for that. I liked him on X-Men vs. Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's what they made him stupid.
When he hit you with the fire, the fire would still be on you while you're swinging. It would take a minute for it to go away.
It was like, who did he train under? This motherfucker crazy now.
Yeah, y'all fighting in the mall. Remember the little boy standing there with all the balloons? It's an escalator in the background. That one was hype.
Yeah, that was the one when you be fighting and the whole street break down and you go into the sewer.
Yeah, with the police in the background and you end up in the sewer.
Like, that's how hard they be fighting too. Them motherfuckers.
Yeah, right. You done just put somebody to a ground.
And got up.
Right.
Every time I see shit like that in the movies, I be like, how the fuck did you just, nigga, your back done? You can't walk. Ain't no way you just flew through that.
The spinning power driver, I'll be yelling out why he's doing it. That's called the CTE starter. And they get up and keep fighting. Somebody jumped like 10 feet in the air, spun around, smashed your head to the ground. You're like, oh, that
Like what, nigga?
Street Fighter 6 is gonna be more real than it should be. They showed they got.
I wonder
like
how many characters they got on there now.
Yeah, Ultra for Street Fighter 4 had like 45. Street Fighter 5 was supposed to take place before Street Fighter 3.
Okay.
Gil's on there. Like, dude, half red, half blue.
I thought that was I forgot his name from Part 3 from Third Strike.
He was the last guy on Street Fighter 3, period. He was red and blue. One had his fire, one had ice. All he wore was just big oceans in the background, crashing, waves crashing, or whatever.
And then it was that new guy who looked like Silver Surfer. They said he bought Shadow Lu, but it suggests that he stole it from Bison, and that's why you don't see Bison anymore. Yeah, I believe that's his name. I think that's the one on Part 4.
Yeah, he got a bunch of people who did a Dragon Punch, he throw a Sonic Boom, do a bunch of fast kicks. Shoot, I'm like,
I don't know what I would do if I was out here fighting and we got our own styles and shit, and we meet up with some nigga that has studied us for the past 20 years and know how to do art. Man, shoot this nigga.
Yeah, he was made by Bison.
He was made by Bison?
Yep.
Oh, okay, that's the story.
It's like, why we fight him, you show me your spin, show me everything. Like, he's supposed to be downloading what you're doing when you're fighting. I'm like, honestly, in my opinion, they should have made Gable more. Because, okay, like, you do the fireball motion and press punch, he throws a Sonic Boom. You do the hurricane kick, he'll grab him, then do all these kicks and knock him off, so more like a grab. He can't just do it. I'm like, y'all should have gave him, like, if you hit jab a bunch of times, he does the hands. You do medium, he does the electricity. They should have gave him as much as possible. If you hold back, then hit forward and a button, he do like Bison, the Psycho Crusher or something. Whatever, like, do the hold down, press up a kick, he do the spinning bird kick or something like that. They should have gave him as much as possible. They kind of messed up on that part. I'm like,
that's like with Mystique. Every time I see her in a game, they fuck her up.
What have you ever seen in a game? Because I only played X-Men Academy for the PS2. And on there, you fighting, I pointed it. And I don't even remember picking her. I think I picked like Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean. And, when you were in the game, it was like, it was a lot of characters on there. I don't know if you ever played that.
I think I play, if that's the one I'm talking about, when it's like a fighting game.
Well, like, you fighting, you knock them through the ground. I think you come up into the yard where the Blackbird comes up.
Yeah, that's the one I had. I had an X-Men.
Yes.
I had an Xbox. And you could knock the nigga into the basement, into the elevator, and then go downstairs.
And it keeps going, right.
Yeah, I was mastering that shit. I was playing it. I gave, you had to play, I want to say, the special character on there was Pyro.
What did you unlock?
That you unlock him and Bastion, but they had Phoenix on that bitch. That bitch had to move where she'll make you punch yourself. Like,
yeah, but there was a lot of characters on there. Like I said,
yep.
It's alright.
The only people I can remember right now is Nightcrawler, Forge, Mystique. I'm not sure, was Gambit on there?
I don't remember.
I know Wolverine was on there. I know he was on there.
Well, yeah, the classic on there, but yeah, I'm definitely sure Gambit will on there.
I know.
I always wondered that, like on this X-Men versus Street Fighter, it was a stage where in the background, Beast and Blanca are around the fire. They were crouching down.
Like meditating, yeah.
I'm like, I would have thrown Beast on there. They basically, when you play with them on X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, or for the Super Nintendo, Capcom made that. He basically like Blanca. I'm trying to think. That was the game where he does like a flying headbutt. You could jump, stomp on the head, and flip off or whatever. He basically got Beast with fire. I'm like, yeah, throw him all these versus games. And I'm like, what happened? Do you remember War of the Gems?
Yes.
Where you could pick Juggernaut in the movie, grab a 2x4.
That's when they first introduced the public to the Infinity Stones. That's when they first introduced people outside the comic book world to the Infinity Stones. I remember one stone, like you say, the Juggernaut, it would turn his shit to armor. Like, you couldn't touch him. And then one stone turned Spider-Man to 2 Spider-Man.
Right.
It was because they like had different reactions to each person. But yeah, I remember that because that was the first game, and they took him off for some reason, but they had Captain America on there. And he had a movie called Stars and Stripes, and we had to beat your ass.
Yeah. Then they put it on Super Nintendo, and it was a game like X-Men versus Mutant Apocalypse. It was the same thing, but we picked the gym. Spider-Man would do the same thing. He'd be 2 Spider-Man on either side doing the same attack or whatever. 2 sides of the person. But I'm like, it was a game you went through. It wasn't a one-on-one fighting game anymore.
I remember that. I do remember that. I didn't play it, but I do remember that coming out like that. That's why I didn't play it, because I was like, they just changed the game. They might as well call it something else.
That's what Nintendo usually worked out when Nintendo did that, because Nintendo had a history of doing that. The first Ninja Gaiden I played was on NES. I played the one arcade later where it's a 2-player fighting game.
Yep.
Like Double Dragon, y'all swinging around. I was like, okay, that's where he got to stick into the
but on that one too, you got to push the button on top of the joystick to make them grab the signs, so you can swing off the signs.
Right, around, kid, whatever. But they changed that. They changed the story and everything. I'm like, okay, and it worked out. Double Dragon 3 was called the Rosetta Stones on the arcade. That one went to Genesis.
But they brought up the Rosetta Stones on Nintendo.
No, it's called the Sacred Stones.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, they did bring up them stones. I remember that, because I remember they fucked up and put Bimmy and Jimmy.
Bimmy and Jimmy?
Like, when they be introducing them at the beginning of the game, I just remember like,
what? I know, we said Billy and Jimmy.
Somebody fucked up and nobody caught this shit. It was everywhere. I remember like every time I played that guy, I would see that shit. Like, this is for real. They actually fucked this shit up.
Hey, that's like Value Billy, But
they tried though.
I never beat that game. It was just too dang long.
Oh my god! I remember. Listen. I remember I played that shit the first time I played it. You are absolutely right. And you know, in most games, you go up to a nigga and you punch, attack 2 or 3 times. They punch once, do another punch, and then do like an uppercut, so like knock you out. That's it. You gotta do that twice to be. Most you gotta do that to a goal, and it's twice, and he down. On Bayou Billy. No, on Bayou Billy, I think you gotta straight up stomp this nigga out. You gotta like do this shit like 10 times. And it'd be like, it start out, you gotta do it, it's like 3 guys you gotta fight, and it ain't just on punching them, you gotta beat their ass. And I'm like, I kept playing like, goddamn.
That's that gumbo keeping them strong.
Because I remember that I remember like when it came out, the campaign for it was going so hard, so I saw it, I said, oh, let me play this. I heard about Bayou Billy. And played that shit. I was like, no, I don't want to play this no more. This shit is too.
I played it. I'll beat the crap out of the alligator when it's coming out, hit it with a stick till you get the meat.
Yeah, like, why you gotta beat an alligator to death with a stick?
To get the meat.
Somebody was taking that game personal. They didn't just make that game.
What? Somebody from New Orleans was like, look
here, boy, down here when we make video games, we like them to be a certain type of way. And when you put your stuff around your ussers, and your ussers around your tussers, you take your stuff with the chicken around the peach face.
I used to love the front of Nintendo games. I said if I was doing it now, I would actually repaint them. And I thought I would do it. That was one of the best pictures ever. The original Ninja Turtle by Ultra.
Just